Welcome to Projects for All. My name is Mike, and today we've got Evolution's big boy, the 14-inch mitering metal cutting chop saw. I've been wanting to check this thing out since the day I saw it. Comes with a 3-year warranty. It looks seriously stout. Let's get it out of the box, see if it delivers. This is a 77-pound mitering chop saw. 77 pounds is a lot of weight for a chop saw. I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. I always root for the tool, always. I always want these things to be good. Does it work out that way? Not all the time. I'm hoping for the best, as always. Wow, that looks nice. We should weigh this because this is not light. Some serious clamps. Everything here is metal except for this knob. Got some little ball detents here. Looks nice. Oh, jeez. Ooh, look at this thing. That is solid bar stock right there. Nicely machined. Let's get the rest of this stuff out of here. Man, look at the thickness of this thing. There's a whole ton of metal. Look at this spring. Jesus. I can tell why this weighs 70-something pounds. Evolution was not screwing around when they made this. This is seriously heavy. Well, that's a miter saw base right there. All aluminum. Not too shabby looking. Last but not least, 14-inch blade, made in Japan, 1-inch arbor. All right, well this looks like crazy easy assembly. We got 2 rods, and obviously 2 holes on the back side here. So let's line them up. There we go. There's a spacer here. Once this is on, it's free floating. Bearings inside the head. Say, discard the little spacer. There's a lot of metal sitting back here. This is seriously beefy stuff. There's a rear metal support. Bolts on, holes right on top here. I like the color on this thing. All metal. Got some 5mm cap head screws. It's a shame this goes in the back, because it looks pretty cool actually. This will keep us from tipping back and keep our head from falling off, which is probably for the best. You guys know I try to avoid talking about the aesthetics of tools to the most part, but sometimes things are just cool and it's okay if they're cool. So the last thing we have to do is throw our blade on. We got a beefy 8mm Allen key. Got your arbor bolt and an outer washer. And then an inner and an outer giant washer to hold the blade. This is our blade. Carbide tips. A 14-inch blade has a lot of presence, man. This is serious stuff. So we'll pull our guard back, put our blade on. Our inner blade holder. Our bolt is righty-tighty. 1 blade installed. Perfect. We just slide our guard back. All right, let's walk around this thing and check out all the details. Then we'll put the clamp system back on it. We'll check that out, and then we're gonna cut some stuff. We're gonna start on the top with this one, and we'll work our way down. So you have your handle, obviously, and your power switch. You have this lever here to lock out your power switch, so it acts as a safety. If you don't pull the lever, you cannot turn your saw on. There's a little 5mm hole or so here that you can use to lock this out if you want to. Putting something in that prevents you from turning on your saw. So if you're going to put this in a school, or you have an orange cat at home that you do not trust, you can lock this thing down. This is really all the plastic you have. You have this handle assembly here. This carry handle is plastic, but it's pretty solid plastic. And then you have your motor housing here. Top of the motor housing on mine, this is model S355MCS, 15 amps, 14 inches, 1 inch arbor, 1450 no load speed. This carry handle is plastic, but very thick plastic. I've picked this machine up with this handle and it supports well. It's nice and smooth on the bottom side, so it doesn't dig into the hand. You can carry this 70-something pound machine with this and it works fine. Right behind the carry handle is this plunger here. Push the head down, you pull that out a little bit. There's a C-clip that keeps it in there, retains it. Pull it back, and you can lift up your saw. Push it in, and your saw head is locked in the down position, and you can carry it with it locked like this. Just under your handle here, this arbor lock is all metal, and it is rock solid. Plastic guarding. I'm assuming this is to prevent chips or, something from coming up and hitting you in the hand while you're running the saw. Under here at the pivot point, you have your headlock plunger again, and you have this crazy spring, man. This is 1/4 inch thick wire on this spring, and it raises this head with authority. This weird little part right here is your depth stop for when you lower your saw. And this is actually adjustable. This is one of 2 adjustable things on this entire saw. Factory setting has this little line. I know it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little line associated with this flat spot. If you turn this to the left, it'll loosen up enough to where you can now move it around. It's got a little 6mm Allen in there, and this is eccentric, and you can set it to the thinner part here for a lowered depth of cut. I'm just gonna leave it on the factory setting. Got some nice, seriously thick sheet metal on these covers. This is almost 14 gauge. It comes up a hair short on 14 gauge. A tiny bit of play on there. So a little bit thinner on this cover here. This is about 16 gauge on this. Pretty sure this is gonna take quite a beating. I'm not particularly gentle with my tools, and especially tools like this, and this guy, I think, hold up pretty good. The cord comes out back here. I like the way the cord routes. It just sits on the back here, stays out of your way, and it becomes a non-factor. There is no keeper for it. It is a 10-foot long 2-prong cord, 14 gauge wire, nice feeling cord, no keeper and no clip. So when you wrap it around, you just gotta tuck it under, but 10-foot cord that's routed in a good spot is good enough for me. So let's get something out of the way right now. This slides here on this rail in the back. Pulling this plunger out allows you to very, very easily, on bearing, slide your head back and forth, but you're not supposed to override this, and this is not a sliding miter saw. It is 3 position. You have forward, middle, and then back. And this is adjustable. This is 1/4 turn on this lever here. That locks it down, so now you pull it, it won't move. 3 positions for different size and different shape stock, and it comes with a diagram to show you which position for what kind of stock and how you plan on cutting it. You have this support here. This obviously stops your head from falling off and gives you a little bit of support. There's a gap here about 1/4 inch underneath the table between this. So if your head is up, it does tend to pitch back a little bit. But obviously if you're cutting and you're pushing down on the head, then this becomes a non-factor. So not a slider, but adjustable, so you can cut all kinds of stuff. Here's the paper that came with the saw. This was put out right on top where you can't miss it. Here are your 3 positions for your head. And the theme here is line your stock up with your arbor. So back position, so you line up with your arbor, with your stock. Angle iron, same thing. Tubing, however, square tubing, it tells you to be forward of the tubing. So I guess you're pressing into your fence here. And then if you're going to cut on an angle like that, you want it lined up with your arbor. This is a beautiful table, man. This fence here, everything is aluminum. Everything you see here is metal, except the blue stuff. The button, this knob, these 2 wing nuts, and that pointer right there are plastic. We got metal throat plate, nice thick metal. The detent plate here I think is stainless steel, but beautiful, man, thick and beefy. Adjusting this is tight. There is no wiggle in this whatsoever. We'll check the accuracy of this, but this plate is adjustable to calibrate the detents for this. And to calibrate that meter, the pointer is adjustable. These fence pieces here don't need to move because this is not a compound miter saw, so the slot here gets to be narrow and you don't have to worry about coming in on an angle and moving the fences out. So the fences are bolted down. I'm going to show you the cap head screws on the back. There's two on either side that bolt these to the table. We'll pull one off just to see what it looks like. Ridiculously easy to read scale on this. Nicely machined table. We'll check the flatness of that. They give you a little diagram for your clamps to show you how to use your clamps. And obviously the Evolution name is cast into the base here. There is no mention in the user's manual of what these holes are for or if they have a purpose at all. They could simply be for lightening the table, you know, or for speed or just to look cool. This hole here is for the clamp system. We're going to look at that in a second. So how flat is this thing? We got 8 thou, if I could show it to you right there. 8 thou. We are flat to almost 8 thou. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to save us some time today. We are flat, flat, flat to the edges, flat to the edges. The biggest dip on mine is right here. I'm about a finger thickness away from the fence here with the straight edge, and I can get the 8 thou to about there. I get that much, about an inch and a half or so dip right there. 5 thou, 3 inches on this side. About that much of it dips 5 thou, and then this side is I think a little worse. Yeah, well, maybe 4 inches, 3 to 4 inches, but otherwise 5 thou, man, flat. I can get in just slightly there, right there. Right here I got a tiny little divot to 5, but it's still got some tension. So it's not 6, 5. The table is completely flat to this much, about that much of each side plate here. You got about that much, this, and this are all flat. Dips here, max 8 thou, and a little 5 thou dip right here. Let's check the fence. Here's the fence. We'll do each side separately. 4 thou. I'm going to put light pressure against the fence with my thumb right there. 4 thou. I can get in just a little bit in the center there, just a hair, but we still got some tension. So 4 thou dip in the center. Here's the other side. Same pressure with my thumb. And we got the same dip, 4 thou in the center. I can get in there, but not all the way. We still got a good amount of tension. We're like 4 thou. There's the beefy cap head screws that hold the fence on. There's 2 of them. They're 8 mil. So the included wrench will hold them on. The included wrench will take them off. Sits in this slot right here and bolts right down there, man. Beautiful. Nice machining on this. And that is it. You can tell there's a tiny little bit of wiggle room. Let's see if we can get that flat as flat can be, just for fun. All right, so we're clamped down to our straight edge. We'll tighten this side. I had to clamp it right over the bolt, didn't I? It's a track saw clamp, but it's the best thing I could find. All right, let's see if we got that flat. All right, there we go. 4 thou. Put a little pressure here. Flat to 4 thou, all the way across that. I get a little bit, man. I get some tension, but I can just get in right here at 4 thou. Got a 4 thou dip from about there to there. Otherwise, we are flat to 4 thou. Not bad, man. Got this giant monster to talk about. This is 10 mil by 40 mil, or 3/8 by 1.5 inches. It's just metal stock, man, and it is heavy. This is no nonsense. Everything here is metal. This is cast. This is steel. It's got these grooves cut in it with a large one at the end here. And inside these holes is a little ball detent that will sit in here. So it helps you index the height as you raise or lower this to adjust your clamps. The hole this fits into, you can see that little detent down in there, right there. And then it tightens down with a wing nut so you can lock it in place. See that coming through down there. This one is round and fits that rod perfectly. Other side here, this hole is elongated so that rod doesn't get stuck in there. Not super strong, but they will hold it if you're real gentle. So then you can tighten it down, lock it in place. Here's our clamp. Just sits right on that rod. That's all. Quick disconnect. Plastic knob. Just fits right on the end. Slide it all the way over. There you go. So there's your clamps on your bar. They just float. You put them anywhere you like. Put them both over there. Put them both over here. Up to you. Here's your top clamp. You get 5 holes. You can put this in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get 3 on that side and these 2 on this side. Not bad. Heavy, all metal except for the blue parts, which are plastic. You get a quick release here. All of these have these shoes, all these clamps. There's 2 detents on the pad here. They call these V-blocks for obvious reasons. And they just slide right on here. This doesn't lock them in, but it keeps them from sliding off of there. So if you can position, it's got a knurled end here, which is pretty cool. So you don't actually need a screw on the back of this to hold this clamp in. It holds itself in. Once it's clamped down, it's not going anywhere. Very nice. It's got a snap ring on the top here to hold this in, but you can adjust your height there. There's the knurled hole this fits into. There is no screw in here and no wing nuts provided for it, but they tell you if you want to use the older Evolution clamps that did not come with the knurling on them, they're drilled for M6 screws, so you can use a bolt or I'm sure buy more wing nuts from Evolution, and you can use your old clamps, which is very nice. 30 inches from the blade to the microphone. Let's see how loud this thing is. Wixie gauge 0 and 0. What do we got? 90.3. 90.2. As far as I can tell, there is no way to adjust for this. I don't see anything in the book. I don't see any adjustment. We're off by 0.2 of a degree, about 90 to the fence. Avoiding the carbide tips here, it's so tight that it looks like one piece of metal once you get it between the tips. Damn near perfect, or perfect, I'd say. All right, let's start with something really simple and easy. This is 3/4 inch square tubing. It's pretty thin wall, like less than 2 millimeters thick. I have all 3 clamps clamped down. I have my saw adjusted to the middle position. The head is at the middle position, and I should hit right underneath my arbor. Let's just roll one and see what happens. As cold as could be. Like it never happened. Nice cut. Clean, straight as an arrow. One little tiny burr Yeah, it's gone. Beautiful. Let's try this next. This is 1.5 inches. About 3 millimeters. Not sure what happened here, but it looks like abrasive chop saw. And then I tried to clean this up with the grinder, whatever I was doing. But that was a long time ago, so I don't even remember. It ain't going nowhere. I mean, not even warm, just cold, cold. It still amazes me. Anybody who's used an abrasive chop saw practically started their garage on fire with one of those things. This just blows my mind. 3-inch square tube. I'm gonna guess and say like 3/16. Adjust our head forward. Tighten it down. Nothing to clean up. No heat. Pretty damn straight. Beautiful. All right, last of the easy stuff. 1/4-inch plate. No problem. All right, this pipe is about 2 7/8 outer diameter. This is a 1/4-inch thick right here. Let's see what it does. Got my clamps installed as per the diagram. Very nice. No sweat. All right, let's quit messing around. We've got 1-inch square, 2-inch round, solid, and a little over 4 inches by 4 inches. This is about 5/16. Let's see what this thing can really do. 1-inch square, sitting on its end. I got the clamps on here, top and bottom, and we'll cut it out of 45. Let's see what happens. You got some laser sharp edges on that. Man, look at that. Perfect. You couldn't ask for much more than that, honestly. I don't think. If I clamp both sides, we might have even gotten it a little sharper. Pretty damn happy with that. Pretty damn happy. I-beam. No problem. No problem at all. Really starting to make quite the mess around here. Some messes are more fun than others, you know? 2-inch, round, solid. That one's a little warm. Wow, we actually got a little warmth out of this. Let's see how warm it is. That one's hot. No. It's about as long. I keep my finger on there for about a second before it gets too warm. But dude, that's a lot of cutting right there. That is a lot of cutting. I can still hold it, but it's a little warm. A little bit of a mess. I don't know if you can hear me walking around in here, but yeah, we trashed this place. It is mostly on the right side of the machine. Even on the floor down here, there's mostly on the right side of the machine. Dumped out over here. Yeah. The old rigid shop vac got its work cut out for it this time, for sure. I'm sure if we went at this long enough, I could come up with something bad to tell you about this Chopsaw. But it's got a little bit of vibration. Just freewheeling. Before you start cutting, there's some vibration. I'm gonna chalk it up to 14-inch blade is big, and more mass spinning creates vibration. Made a hell of a mess, but that's the fun part. So it cut everything like laser. Even this solid stock. Cold form, 2-inch, round. No problem. No freaking problem. I really like the clamp setup. The clamp setup, it takes a minute or two to set up because you got to raise that bar, and the detents don't hold it perfect. You got to gingerly set it on the detent for the height you want and then tighten it down. It's easier to set it up and reach under and tighten that wing nut to keep it from falling. And it's not super easy to tell which detent you're in because it'll be in the adjacent detent on the other side. So it takes a minute. It's not super fast set it up, but it's not a problem for me, honestly. I don't cut things so fast and in such a quantity that that's gonna hold me up or cause me any trouble. Otherwise, dude, this fence and table are straight as an arrow. It's a well-machined, well-built tool. I'm super impressed. As you would expect for its price point, which is $850, it is not a cheap tool. And it was sent here for free by Evolution for me to show you guys. It is not the last time you're gonna see this. We're gonna do their mag drill. Probably you'll see that video in a couple weeks, or if it's already a couple weeks, it's down on the channel, and check that out too. So I'm impressed, man. I am freaking impressed. What a badass Chopsaw. Till the next one. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you want to see the mag drill. We're gonna do more with this. We got Harbor Freight's welding table on the channel. You can go check that out. That was pretty impressive for its price of 170 bucks. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video.